Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I have used the print and cut feature on my Cricut program a lot, and I have so many questions on how I get it to work, the best products to use. So I have done a calibration tutorial in the past, but I wanted to show you how to use the print and cut feature starting from the beginning, uploading the files. We are going to create a Tumbler in this tutorial. However, we are going to start with downloading our files from Creative Fabrica and uploading them into Design Space. Those of you who have not heard of Creative Fabrica or want to learn more, Creative Fabrica is an excellent resource for all crafters, photographers. You can find backdrops, Lightroom presets, tons of files and fonts on here. And if you have a Creative Fabrica subscription, which is just $1 for the first month, through my link I have down in the description for free. And you have commercial usage. So all I did was type in blue watercolor florals, searched a little bit, I clicked that little green button and downloaded it to my computer in one click without any additional charge to me. Having the Creative Fabrica subscription has saved me so much as a crafter because I'm not having to purchase each individual file I use for different designs. I just go on, find what I want, download it to my computer, and then I'm free to use it how I like. I already have these florals sized to the way that I need them for my project, so I opened that project up. However, I am going to show you how to upload these to Design Space. All I did was select upload, clicked my files down in the bottom right corner, and dragged and dropped the ones that I want into that upload screen. For any print and cut files, you want to select complex detail, continue, select print and cut, and then hit continue again. If you download files from the Creative Fabrica platform, then they will automatically remove that background whenever it is sent to your Design Space. It will take just a bit for that to show on your recent upload screen, so just be patient and it will hop on over there whenever it has finished uploading. Now, for those of you that are wanting to see the sizing for the floral tumbler we are also going to make, I'm going to show you all of the images that I have used and the correct sizing for that as well. But you would just go to your recent uploads, select the print and cut images that you want to send over to your Design Space. Most of the time they are going to be large files, so they'll pop up really large. Just select that whole group and resize them smaller so they're easier to work with. Now, since I have already went through and sized these for my project, I'm just going to move over what we just uploaded and we will look at the sizing of these florals. Normally I select the longest floral cluster, and that would be 6 inches to fit on a steel magnolia 32-ounce plump. And then I choose 3 other images. 2 for the alternating corners between the front and the back of the tumbler. I duplicate both of the medium size clusters and usually size them between 3.2 to 3.5 at the largest width or height. And then for our smallest florals, I size them anywhere between 2 inches to 2.5 inches at the largest width or height. So many of you have asked me those dimensions in the past, and I haven't really given them simply for the fact because it can vary between the brand of tumbler that you're using and of course the sizing as well. This is just a general idea, and if you are using a 24-ounce plump rather than a 32-ounce from the steel magnolia, you can highlight all of your florals and then reduce the complete width by 1 inch. And that typically works for me on resizing them for a smaller tumbler. Once you are ready to print, then you're going to select Make It up at the top right corner. And thank goodness Cricut did update this to where it puts as much as possible on one sheet. I can just leave them at this point. I used to have to do a lot of moving around, so I didn't waste so much printable vinyl. But all you have to do is select Continue and then Send to Printer. It is extremely important that you make sure the Add Bleed toggle button is on. This is going to extend the color of your images so that when you cut these, you shouldn't have any sort of white border. Now, if you have a printer that doesn't print really well, then you can select that Use System Dialog toggle button as well, and it will bring up options for you to do a best print, higher saturated. It just depends on what your computer system allows you to change. I selected best quality and sent that to my printer. Once that has printed, you're going to align it on your Cricut mat just as you would a sheet of vinyl. Put it up in that top left corner, load it in, and then hit the flashing button. These florals take quite a bit of time to cut, so just be patient and allow it to do its thing. If your machine is cutting outside of the borders of your design, then you need to calibrate your machine. I have a tutorial for that and I will link it down below, or you can check back on my older videos. And if you are experiencing any issues after that, such as it not sending information to your printer or your Cricut not wanting to cut the flowers at all, call Cricut support. I've called them a lot. I've had my machine a long time and they have always been really helpful and able to fix any issues, or at least the majority of them, when I called them. Alright, so now that we have our florals cut, we're going to jump in to making this tumbler. This is not the tumbler we ended up using. I did put this design on a 32-ounce plump, and what you are seeing here is a 24-ounce plump from the Steel Magnolia. I am using the Crystal Company glitter glue just to apply Brilliant from PDB Creative Studio. I'll allow that to dry for 4 hours and then do 2 coats of epoxy, or until my cup is smooth so we can do our peekaboo design. I will have these floral stencils listed below. The largest I have cut for a 32-ounce plump from the Steel Magnolia, once again, is 8 inches, and the other 2 matching that are going on the front are 6.5 inches wide. I just popped those on my favorite transfer tape. I'm going to put the largest on the back side of this tumbler, and then I'm going to take the other 2 smaller sizes and alternate them on the top and the bottom of the front side of the tumbler. I'm going to grab my Cami Page Boutique tumbler stand, pop that in so I can have a really good grip as I'm spray painting this, and spray paint it with Krylon Classic Gray. After that dries completely, I'm going to remove that floral stencil. Now, I have had a lot of comments saying that these are hard to weed. They are. They're super difficult to weed. It is time consuming. However, they are the most beautiful stencils that I have used on this floral design, so it is absolutely worth it. I created this dog mom decal myself. It will be available to download in my Brittany Barnes Boutique Tumbler art group. I will have a link to my group down below if you want to join and grab this decal. I just placed it in the middle of our 2 alternating floral peekaboos on the front side of the tumbler, and then it is time to add on our florals. I found the center point of that front decal that we just added on and flipped my tumbler around so that I could add this largest floral cluster to the back side of the tumbler. I do this one first because it is the biggest and it's a lot easier to either manipulate the remaining florals if I have them cut just a little too large, or find the perfect placement for them in between our main decal and this biggest floral cluster. Now you'll notice that I very lightly press these down. I am not trying to get them really stuck down to the tumbler just yet, because I have had to remove them and reuse many times in the past before, just because I had placement wrong or sizing incorrect. It takes a long time to cut these flowers, so I don't want to have to do it again. So just lightly push them on so you can get your placement right, and then after you have everything in place, you can really make sure they're pressed down and seal them in. Our two smallest are going to go on either side of our Dog Mom decal that we have on the front, and I just remove them from the backing and pick out that negative space. It's a lot easier to do it that way instead of trying to remove the negative space while it's still on that paper backing. Now for the other 4 medium sized, I just alternate them. I'll put the largest of the 2 or one design on the top and the bottom corner opposite sides of that front decal, and then I will repeat the same thing for the alternating sides. Hopefully that makes sense. I've made so many of these, then I just have a system that makes it work for me and helps me get these done a lot quicker than what I used to. I'm constantly improving on how these are done and my peekaboo designs, so that's why you may see another one of these from time to time, although I have multiple tutorials on it. If you go back to my very first one, that was the navy blue tumbler, there is most certainly a glow up, a very big glow up from the first time that I made this design until the one that you are seeing now. Regardless of how long you've been making tumblers or whatever craft that you are working on, there's always room for improvement. And of course, I'm always trying to find the most efficient and easiest way to show y'all how to recreate these designs. So I did forget to mention when we were going over print and cut, my favorite print and cut paper or vinyl is from Hey Butter Crafts. They have tons of options on the different types of vinyl that you can use in your inkjet or laserjet printer. And I'll link this vinyl down below for y'all in the description as well. Once you are happy with the placement of your florals or whatever printed design that you are working with, I usually just pat those down with my hand and make sure that they are nice and flat, or you can take the slick side of either transfer tape, you can take parchment paper. There's lots of things you can use on this, just as long as it does not scratch your paint or peel up your flowers. You can use it to press them down, and then you can use either Rust-Oleum matte clear coat or this new awesome Color Shot matte clear spray paint. Seal those in twice to make sure that they don't move around or pop up whenever you epoxy. I gave it 1 coat of epoxy, and I'm gonna add a little something extra to this. Every now and then I will go through my comments and see who has gave it the most love and support on either Facebook or Instagram, and pick out someone to make them a custom tumbler or whatever they have commented the most on. And this specific follower comments on near every post that I make, and she has been super supportive and loves this design, but most of the time it has Mama on the front, and she is a dog mom, so I wanted to make sure that it was extra special for her and add on some little paw print elements. I printed these at 1.5 inches a piece on clear water slide. I have a inkjet printer, so I sealed them in twice with the same matte clear coat we sealed in our florals with. allowed that to dry, and then I just cut them out, sprayed the back side so that it would release that clear water slide. And then I am just very lightly going over, not pressing any water out from underneath them just yet, because I want to make sure that I have the placement just right. And then once I have my placement, I will squeegee out any water that is underneath these, and then dry my tumbler, allow it to sit for a couple of hours, and then I will put on my final coats of epoxy. For the first of my 2 final coats, I am going to add in a tiny bit of Diamond Dust from PDB Creative Studio. This is a super sparkly mica. It only takes a tiny bit, and it gives this tumbler an overall shimmer, since we have so much of that just plain color on our peekaboo. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this tutorial, and I have explained and answered lots of questions that I have gotten in the past. Again, I do have a calibration tutorial for Cricut, so if you are needing help with that, definitely go check that video out. And if you want to see more of this design, check back on my videos. I have lots of tutorials and different ways on how to create this specific tumbler design. Creative Fabrica and I have partnered to give away a lifetime subscription to Creative Fabrica, and that giveaway is currently going on at the time of this tutorial, so definitely hop over to our Instagram page and enter that giveaway. And if you want to take advantage of the subscription for just $1 to Creative Fabrica, check down below in the description. I'll have that linked for you. Subscribe to our channel and hit that bell in the corner to be notified anytime a new tutorial drops. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.